Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Background noise coming. What is that?
For a minute. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Background noise coming. What is that? There is a noise coming up. What is that noise?
For a minute.
Yeah, now it is fine.
Yes, sir. Are you all able to hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's clear.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. M. Arokeswamy and our panel of Board of Governors of IED Communications of the Automation Expo 2021, it is my privilege to welcome you all, our speakers, our attendees, to our first Future Automation Ready webinar series. And today our topic is application of AI in industrial manufacturing. This year we could not meet you physically. And in the new normal, this is the best way to connect with you. And we look forward to many more events like this in days to come. And before I would introduce our speakers, I would hand over to Dr. Mehta, who would introduce our speakers. I would like to show you a brief presentation on Automation Expo 2021. Automation Expo 2021 is the 15th India International Trade Show that is going to be happening next year from the 22nd to the 25th at the Bombay Exhibition Center in Goregaon. Automation 2021 is all about networking, technologies, and business growth. This is our 15th edition. As you see, this is a pictorial of our inauguration of the Automation Expo 2019. And as you see, we have all industry stalwarts. It is our privilege that we have been associated with industry stalwarts who comprise of major users, manufacturers, and consultants. And we have a steering committee followed by 36 members on board who are major decision makers who are guiding us to make Automation Expo 2021 bigger and better. And I must say, every year that the show gets bigger and better, not only in terms of exhibitors, but also in terms of the visitors, the conferences, the quality. It's thanks to all of the Board of Governors who guide us to make this show a grand success year after year. Well, that's Automation Expo 2021. Well, that's Automation Expo 2021. Be there. We have given you enough information on who are the exhibitors, what is the technology, what are the concurrent events that will be there. And exhibitors, be there to showcase the latest technologies that you have. to the major decision makers who will be coming, and visitors. Mark your calendars to visit the show as also attend the concurrent conferences. And now we are passing through unique times. As we are all into unlock mode, let us remember to wear a mask, to wash our hands, elbows cough into it, face, don't touch it, feet, keep a safe distance. And if you're sick, stay at home. But most of all, be healthy and be happy. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Mehta, who will now introduce you to our speakers.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A warm and hearty welcome to the Future Automation Ready webinar series organized by IED Communication. On behalf of Board of Governors of Automation Expo 2021, I am happy to welcome both distinguished speakers and our participants for today's webinar on application of AI in industrial manufacturing. The AI in manufacturing market is expected to be valued at $1.1 billion in 2020 and is likely to reach $16.7 billion by 2026. That is, it is expected to grow at the rate of 57.2 CAGR during the forecast period. So this is a great thing. The major drivers for the market are increasing number of large and complex data sets, often known as big data, evolving industrial Internet of Things and automation, improving computing power, and increasing venture capital investments. The critical challenges facing the AI in manufacturing market include limited skilled workforce, concerns regarding data privacy, and significant financial and operational impact of COVID-19 outbreak on manufacturing. India has made significant contribution to AI as technology. Many Indian engineers have added valuable contributions to development of this technology, which has universal applicability. From a viewpoint of deployment, Indian manufacturing industry meets most of the prerequisites. From a need point of view, Indian industry can benefit largely from the widespread use of AI. To provide detailed insight on the subject, today we have organized two distinctive speakers, and I am happy to introduce them one by one. Mr. Damodar Sahu is the Domain and Digital Strategist, Automotive at Wipro Limited, USA. As a design thinker, Damodar works at confluence of business and emerging technologies. His digital transformation approach and innovative technology application through process is well acclaimed by his presentations as speaker in numerous technology conferences and global fora, and through his numerous articles and blogs in print and social media. Currently, Damodar plays the role of automotive digital solution evangelist and advises his clients on accelerating business outcomes with focus value modeling, digital readiness, and analysis. Damodar has a proven track record of over 21 years and sound academic credentials. He graduated Bachelor of Technology degree in Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering. He is also a Master's in Operations Management from MIT University, MDP on Leadership in Age of Digital Transformation from IIM Calcutta, and Research Scholar on Computer Science. He is ranked as #1 social seller globally by Wipro by LinkedIn. Damodar is also a philanthropist supporting on education to the underprivileged students of his village in India. Our second speaker is Mr. Niju Vijayan. Mr. Niju is Executive Director of Aventalum Advisors LLP. Mr. Niju has 20 plus years of experience in helping clients formulate strategies and actions in rapidly disrupting markets and industries. He advised clients in the geographies of South Asia, Middle East, and Africa. Niju has expertise in ESDM, telecom, manufacturing, and energy domains, helping clients strategize for growth and sustainable success. Friends, welcome to this great technology webinar on applications of AI in industrial manufacturing, and enjoy the deliberations. We will have the QA session once both speakers have completed their presentations. Thank you very much. And now I invite Mr. Niju to make the first presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mehta. Thank you for the generous introduction. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, yes, you are.
All right. So a very warm welcome to everyone who is attending from whichever remote location you are in right now. And it's my pleasure to be here. And I would also like to thank Industrial Automation team for having facilitated and provided me the platform to share my thoughts. And I hope I will be able to share whatever little I know with all of you. And as I always say, that any participation in an event is also an opportunity to learn. So that's what I'm here for. So over the next, say 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to walk you through some of the interesting research that Avantium has done in the recent past on artificial intelligence. And for those who are probably not very conversant with Avantium Advisors, we are a boutique consulting organization which helps companies in a few interesting domains of transportation, automotive, electronics, and manufacturing. And whatever we are presenting here is part of some of the work that we do with our clients, and also our continuous thought leadership work that we churn out. So without much ado, let me move into the presentation. And I have kept the title as Turbocharging India's Manufacturing Sector, and what best can be done with artificial intelligence as the key tool there. So what are you going to see? There are 5 key points in the agenda, but it's a short presentation. We would like to share some of the broader points and also like to hear back from you during the Q&A session. So first, we will look into how AI as a technology is changing the game across the world. That's one thing. Second, we will look at, of course, how this market is growing. You will be, really be surprised to find the kind of exponential growth that it's, registering year on year, and how it will grow over the next half a decade. The third is we look at, coming specifically to India, what's the investments that are being made in AI and where it is going. And when we specifically talk about manufacturing sectors, what kind of AI investments are being made? What are people looking for, and what are they seeking to do? And finally, the benefits that are going to come out of that, and which is in turn driving more and more adoption, and the user community for AI is also growing. Before we get into that, I think it's good to kind of set the context as to where the AI started. We all know that AI is not a new technology. It has been there for the past, I would say, 60 to 70 years. 1950s when it actually started, and it kind of for the next 3 decades more or less remained dormant. If you ask me what's the reason, probably I would not be able to comment on it. Maybe because the world hadn't come to a maturity level that it could utilize it, leverage that technology. So it kind of remained there where it was developed, and those who developed it probably didn't find enough applications. And then in the mid 80s is when there was a resurgence of AI that happened. But still, I would say that we didn't talk too much about it, didn't do much. We had only a little bit of work that happened on the AI. But the real change happened in the last 1 decade. And that's when the hype cycle, as we call it, really began in the early part of this decade. And really, if you were to look at when the world started talking about AI, was in 2018. And 2018 onwards, I think, after that, it has been, I myself have been part of, numerous conferences or discussions, debates on AI. And I think today it has become more of a norm that we talk about more finer things within AI, because it's a given thing that AI is going to grow. And what is going to happen over the next, decade and a half is that we are going to see a superb collaboration between the humans and the AI. And that is where the human intelligence and the AI's artificial part is going to come together and create something which will be really mind-blowing. Now, how is the world supporting AI? So if you look at the AI market globally, it is today growing primarily because we have a lot of data there. And with this data, we are expected to see this market grow. We are only hazarding a guess by till about 2025, or the forecast by 2025. And that's where we see that it's going to be 5 trillion plus kind of a market that we'll see for AI. And of course, it's not just manufacturing, I mean, all different industry segments. Now, why this is growing so well? One of the things that we all know that in the last decade, enterprises have gone in for digitization in whatever they could do. And that has resulted, so the moment we talk about anything which is digital, we have a lot of data that gets produced. And that availability of data is the primary feed for artificial intelligence. And then why artificial intelligence came as a strong wave is because if you look at businesses, they have all been trying to innovate. They have been trying to differentiate themselves so that they could capture new markets. They could address the unique and specific needs of their customers. And that's where AI came in and created that, or offered that tool which could create that differentiation. While growth is happening, at the same time, there are enough challenges too. And one of the key things as we see is privacy of the data is definitely a big concern area. You would know that the Europe has got very strong data protection laws, which it expects all the partner countries from different regions also to adhere to it or comply to that. And that also would bring in a certain level of limit to what kind of a data, how you can use it for making it better and efficient. And the second big challenge that we see, and this is more so for India, and I would probably touch upon that as when we come to the India part, is that skills availability is a big challenge. It's because this is a highly specialized area, and you need to train people to do the work on AI. So hence skills which are available today or what is being taught probably is at a very nascent stage, and that needs to develop for the world to actually leverage on this technology in a big way. Now, it's going to grow to about 5 trillion. Now, which are the segments which are going to drive? Almost every segment that you can think of is on the AI bandwagon today. You talk about the telecom or the media services, or you talk about healthcare, which has got a lot of data which it churns out every minute, to transportation, which is today one of the blue-eyed industries for any technology infusion. And when I say transportation and automotive together. But what we would be very interestingly looking at is how manufacturing is probably in the forefront. Manufacturing has the largest share of the contribution to make to the AI market. You can see that this global numbers, I mean, from this year onwards, we are talking about, a growth of almost like 17 or almost 18% coming from the manufacturing sector itself. And that shows the potential of this sector when it comes to the AI adoption. So there's a lot of things happening, and we will see what is driving this. We are all living in extraordinary times. And as Jyoti pointed out in the beginning that, do things. So this has become more like a, I think the regular practice for us to wash hands, to kind of, not touch things which are not required, and to kind of wear a mask. So COVID times are bringing out, definitely a difficult, character, but at the same time, it is also bringing out a lot of opportunities. And that is where we see that for a country like India, there's a lot of opportunity that it presents. If we just keep out all the negative part of it, the positive is that it has, disrupted supply chain globally. and India being part of a global supply chain has been very badly affected. On the other hand, we also see that there are certain, issues which are on the geopolitical scenario, especially on the, with the neighboring countries. So all those are making India and the policymakers and the industry to look inward to see what can be done to overcome this kind of a challenge. And that is where we see that the tech spending is going to increase dramatically over the next 6 years. So the first one you can see that, one is that we talk about a 5 trillion economy to be achieved in the next 5 years' time. And if it has to be achieved, obviously, we cannot go on the same path, or we can go on the normal, regular path to achieve that. There has to be a disruptive way of reaching there. And that disruptive way to reach there has got one of the best vehicles available, which is the AI. So if you look at the tech spending, we are talking about moving from 240 billion USD to almost like 1.5 trillion USD is what we are going to spend over the next 6 years. On the other hand, we are also on the other hand, we see that the spending of AI, which is a subset of the total tech spending, is also very interestingly moving from just 16 billion in last year to almost like half a trillion over the next 6 years. So that's the kind of exciting opportunity that we are looking at. Now we all know that when we talk about the manufacturing sector, India has traditionally seen that the manufacturing sector has not contributed anything more than 17%. That has been the best number. And I think today we are somewhere between 15 and 17% in terms of the manufacturing contribution to the GDP. So for a country to actually grow really well and grow in a sustainable manner, as we have seen across the world, the manufacturing sector has to contribute not less than 25%, at least 22% to have a healthy growth for a long term, and which is very much possible in the country. So if India has to hit a 25+%, which is the potential, of course, AI will have to play a major role, because AI can bring in that kind of an inorganic growth possibility, which otherwise will not be there if we are trying to grow organically, because we have just about 5 years and we have a significant ground to cover in this meantime. So what we are saying is that this 5 years is going to be the window of opportunity for India by adopting AI and achieve what it would like to do and be there among one of the top economies in the world. So as I mentioned, we are talking about a 5 trillion. Now, who is going to contribute? The manufacturing sector has to contribute, as I mentioned, because at 25%, 1/4 of the economy has to come from the manufacturing sector. Now, if it has to come from there, many segments within the manufacturing sector has to contribute. Whether we talk about automotive, which is the largest contributor to the manufacturing in the country, to the process segments of oil and gas, to the petrochemicals, to the chemicals and cement, everything. All of them will have to kind of step up, absorb more technology, and as part of the technology, there will be more AI coming in, which will enable them to move up. And what is looking very positive, as I mentioned earlier, that the enterprise level digitization, which has been rolled out, or which was something which was ongoing for the last so many years, has now come to a point where the manufacturer are able to see that there is a lot of data. Now we can actually put it to good use, and that's where AI will come in. And we also see that the manufacturers will also be very happy with the fact that if we have to use AI, getting the process efficiency is going to be much more easier. Otherwise, what you would have spent time, energy, and a lot of man hours, that can be done much more easier, because you have something which will bring in the artificial intelligence into it. While there are different types of artificial intelligence that gets adopted in the manufacturing sector, but what we believe very strongly, going by the character of the country, it will be the augmented and the assisted intelligence system, which will be in the forefront of doing that. And there's a reason for it. And the reason is that India still has got a lot of people who can actually contribute in terms of hands in the manufacturing. So you need a technology which can complement rather than displace them. And that is where we will see augmented and assisted intelligence system, which will make sure that, as I mentioned, complementing the human intelligence and making sure that whatever is the target, that is achieved. Now coming to the last part of it, where I'm talking about what kind of benefits are there. Why would more companies come in large numbers and become AI followers? They will adopt AI into their manufacturing systems at the enterprise level, and that will kind of stimulate more of their peer companies to come in, more of their adjacent industries to come in, more of their ecosystem partners to come in. All those will kind of ensure that we are spawning more and more of AI followers, AI adopters in large numbers. So today we see that in manufacturing, there are definitely a lot of areas, and in the interest of time, I couldn't list on all of them, but at least I picked up something which looks very interesting and which has got more number of people who are hooked onto it. So one is the digital twin. What are we doing to the digital twin? The impact it will make is that manufacturers don't have to really hesitate about where they will go wrong. On the contrary, they will be able to experiment. They will be able to experiment with products before they actually get produced. So it's like, I can create a virtual image or a virtual product, and without really having that kind of a same cost or the risk involved with that, I can go ahead, make those corrections and bring it out through the production. Then we talk about the customization of design. We are all vehicle users, and we know that if someone were to listen to us and give me that particular color of the car, I mean, it's neither the wine red nor the cherry red, somewhere in between, that's the reddish red color that I need, would call for a mass customization. But this is very much possible through this particular technology. So we are talking about customization of design, which will address a large number of customers, which will in fact, because every customer user community will have a lot of diversity. But as a manufacturer, I will be able to address as many of the needs within the customers as possible. Then we talk about supply chain, and I did mention about the supply chain coming under pressure. So you can optimize that. And how you can optimize is you have a better visibility of resources, unlike in the other times. The second, which I think a lot of companies are today focusing on, is on quality assurance. And you can have the right kind of algorithms written on it, which can provide you with the best combinations of the product, and you can decide as to which one you will choose and which one you will actually reject to ensure that the kind of a quality requirement you have is met. Now, on the other hand, it will also provide for the alarm systems within the the manufacturing, which will ensure that if there is something which is deviating from the set standards, that's called out immediately before there is a damage done, and you have zero deviation from the set standards. Third is predictive maintenance, and that's where I think, if I'm not wrong, most of the companies are today investing in there. Can I see the future, or can I see a problem, can I see an issue before it really becomes big for me to handle? So it's like, I mean, in simple English, if you typically we say that nip it in the bud. So we would say that even before it's in the bud, you can actually see that and take corrective actions. So it is to forecast downtime, it's to take preventive action and do that in such an accurate manner that your resources are not tied down there. And when you do that, you have a certain budget that you set aside for the maintenance every year. That includes on the spares or includes service, because you might have something which is one of its kind of equipment, and that is only being supplied by, say, one or two suppliers. So to get someone to come and attend is going to be difficult. So instead of that, if you can see that when it is going to have a problem and take a corrective action in time, then you're going to save resources on that. Edge computing is also an interesting thing that you would have heard of late, is where we are trying to build in more intelligence into the distributed devices everywhere. And that's going to create those devices into smart devices, which means that they can actually do the processing at that level. And you can actually have the intelligence built into that. And those one will talk to the one at the next higher level and a networked set of devices and make sure that the best of the output is achieved. In terms of the safety, I mean, we know that, today, unlike, a few decades back where, safety was not of that importance, today it is of paramount importance because it is directly linked to the, the reputation, the brand of that particular company, and having a certain safety level is something which is definitely required. And finally, what are we trying to, look at? The whole thing is about cost. The whole thing is about ensuring that we have a control over the cost, and that cost can be nothing but, it is directly impacting your bottom line. And that is what every manufacturer, every company will look for. If I can get a higher profit by adopting a tool, I have my return on investment. So with that, I will sign off, and with a very interesting quote that I would always get reminded, and that's very apt for artificial intelligence, which is by one of my favorite management guru, Peter Drucker, when he said the best way to predict the future is to create it. And today with artificial intelligence, we are actually creating it. With that, thank you very much, and I look forward to any questions that you might have noted down towards the end of the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vijayant, for a wonderful insight. Now we invite Mr. Sahu to make his talk.
Yeah, thank you, Niju. Yeah, it was a, can you hear me all well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So, namaskar and good evening to all of you. I have joined from US. So it's a nice quote from Niju. And I will talk about the AI, especially I will focus on how AI should be safe and ethical, and it is all powered by data. Yeah. So let me Niju, my friend, end his conversation with a great quote. So let me start with another nice quote, right? So we all working in enterprise, corporates, industry, right? So great leaders are almost always they are the great simplifiers. I mean, they don't make it any complex. Who can cut through argument, debate, doubt to offer, but that should be, I mean, everybody should understand that, right? So that's why they are called as the great leaders. Yeah. So few questions coming to my mind, right? The world we live is a new normal, right? We already accepted that. Yeah, we are in a new normal, right? And this is changing in a very rapid speed. And the use of AI are on rise, right? It can be your banking transaction, your healthcare, maybe your citizen service, anything you get it, you must be getting a lot of spam calls as well, right? In here where I live, I get daily 1 or 2 spam calls. People call you and they're all chatbot agent, right? AI agent. They will ask you a couple of questions, right? I mean, if you are not well aware, for other part of the AI, then definitely you will get into trouble, right? So anyway, I am not going to talk about that. I will talk about the AI in industry, right? Industrial manufacturing. So these are a couple of questions. I'm sure my agenda would be basically I have 2 stories to talk about. So this will address one. So can a machine have emotions? Can a machine be self-aware? Can it be creative? Can it be benevolent or hostile? Or can a machine have a soul? Yeah, just hold a thought. I will definitely answer whatever I ask you. So this is more or less I will talk about that. And great that Niju has talked about all the industry aspect, right? I mean the turbocharging AI for India. And the COVID-19 outbreak has really changed our business, right? That's why you are all joined today virtual. Otherwise, you used to come to Bombay and do this kind of webinar, right, in person. So business is no more as usual. It's totally disrupted, right? It's still we are passing through the unprecedented time, and we all are working from home or wherever you are, right? I mean, it's a completely locked down, and second baby is coming. I don't know how that will really so the scary part, right? And most of the businesses are ramped down. That's why a lot of people are in trouble. Government is really trying their level best to get into infrastructure, all, I mean, supply chain disruption, right? So, and I was just thinking, I was just reading one article whether it could have been predicted, right? I mean, so yeah, people have said it could have been predicted, right? So anyway, I'm not getting into that. So what is internet plus AI, right? So need to talk about, right, the supply chain, the AIDS kind of thing, the other aspect of the AI, right? Of course, it is for improving quality, decreasing cost. That is what actually we are using it. And but I started with a statement that AI should be safe and ethical. So that also I will touch upon on my next story. And just-in-time manufacturing is a major concern. And I mean, people are really working on where whatever you want to sell tomorrow, you should produce today, or whatever the demand of the market today afternoon, you should produce it today morning. So this is all just in time and depends on the various industry to industry. And also, I will take you to how it requires a vision to achieve, right? I mean, I put that the great leader, how they make things very simple, which everybody can understand, right? So your vision should not be a cookie cutter, and your applications should not be either, right? So you have to understand the use cases, where exactly you want to use it, and how you can benefit, and a larger audience like your all stakeholder, your consumer, they should use it, get benefited it. So that's why the last statement I said, it should be safe and ethical. So let me start a story. So this is the real world, I mean, happening somewhere, and it is very relevant to the present, the new normal. And it is applicable to industry, corporate, citizen services, governments, right? And we are not moving, more or less we are restricted, right? Our movement has been restricted. And more or less, we are working from a very close environment, right? And even though you don't meet people in person, where you can actually tell your emotion, tell your happiness, how happy I am. So you have to laugh at yourself, right? And right, I mean, so laughing at yourself is nothing but in a different way. I mean, where you will laugh, if you are not going to a laughing club, morning club, then when you are laughing, so you have to laugh yourself, ha ha ha, like that, right? So you get that energy. So a lot of restriction we have. So that's why people are getting into, let's say, mental issues, right? Psychological issues. So where you will go? Let's say any government or industry, big corporate industry, let's say they have given some kind of number where if you want to talk to somebody, you want to share with some kind of things which is not normal, how we will reach out to them. Let's say any number given by, let's say, Government of India or any corporate. Hey, then you talk to on that number. The moment you talk to the number, let's say the mostly all the technical help decks are mostly replaced by a intelligent agent, I can call it, right? Need to talk about the assisted services, right? So let me take it to here. And I'm talking, the assisted services is a little bit intelligent, intelligent self-service I can say, or intelligent assisted service I can share. So the moment I talk, so let's say that agent understand multi-language, so I'll talk maybe Hindi or any other regional language or English. The moment I'll say, hey, hi, I'm so-and-so, and based on my voice, that intelligent agent should come to know exactly what state of mind my mind is, whether really it's a happy call or it's a distress call. Hey, I said I'm in trouble, for an example. The moment I watch the you trouble, then the chat ball below, that guy is a little trouble, right? So the moment I'll start conversing with this intelligent agent, he will understand that, okay, this guy is a little different and he's talking about something which is not usual, and it is getting recorded, right? And let's say based on that capacity, let's say he will found that I definitely need to handle by a live agent, nothing but a human agent, right? And so how quickly that intelligent chatbot transfer that line to the live agent, that really matters, because my first interaction is the toll-free or toll number. Mostly it's a bot agent, right? AI agent. But if you make that agent little bit, AI agent little bit intelligent, then anyway, he's just in between, he's asking, where are you, which place, location, everything he has taken, For an example, women's safety, child safety, anything, I'm just, So if you are taking, let's say, if you are talking about 100, I'm just giving an example. Let's say by the time a live agent take the control, then everything, your position, everything is taken care of, right? And then that will really easy for the live agent to help you out. Let's say if you are in distress, you are at 11 p.m., a woman on road in Bangalore city, for an example, just giving an example of, then how quickly some rescue system will come there. So that matters a lot. So that I'm talking about the, intelligent AI, who should be safe and ethical. So other part I will address, the security part I will address it. So this is I'm talking. I've just given a name called Mitra. Mitra is nothing but your friend, right, Bandhu. So this is across industry. It can be a big IT corporate, it can be a big industrial, it can be even citizen services I talk about, right? And of course, digital transformation has taken the center stage, right, across industries. We all know that now how cloud, AI, and IoT are really increasing and attacking the surface of any organization's digital asset, right? Because more or less, and we all know that, no need to explain how the industrial revolution happened, right? We are in industry 4.0, how it is transforming. So let me take you to the different industrial use cases, right? Our India government has a vision for 2030, right, for automotive, right? I mean, by 2030, I think all the cars coming to Indian roads should be electric, right? So this is a global perspective I'm giving. I was just reading an article in Harman website, right? So the automotive industry is undergoing a massive digital transformation right now because of this COVID. Also, you have seen how this cell has really, now it's picking up, but globally, I mean, they come down, right? So by 2030, most of the cars will be connected, autonomous, shared, and electric, right? Even few of the OEMs, even they are working, in Indian context, what we normally ask for, what is the mileage per liter. Now people are moving that mindset to experience per mile, all right? I mean, of course, we are in shared mobility. We have most of the cars connected. Of course, autonomous is a different thing, right? And of course, electric, we are also, India is not left behind. We're already there. But how you will create a consumer-centric innovation principle? So that, and how will you do that without using anything, any automation tool? You can't do that, right? So if you see this figure, let's say by 2020, this is the current state, and by 2030, this is the forecast, right? 96% car will be connected, 79 followed by 26, and this is a global figure of 24, electric by 2030. What does that mean? And that means what? Your future car is your mobile office, right? Even also during this time, where if you are in a very small room or with a family, joint family, when you are not able to take any webinar call, your office call, normally we go to the parking, get inside a car and you use that time for your meeting with a customer or your internal meeting. So the future of car will be a mobile office. So voice enabled, AI powered vehicle cockpits, and of course it will be, we will call it as a CRM, powered by workforce on wheels, right? I'm sure this will also come in India. So story number 2. So how this automotive industry, let's say by 2030, where all the cars will be connected, and how really this will help to have a better citizen services, or how it can be really transformed from digital identity, digital trust, e-pass. Let's say if I have to move from here to there, then I need to, let's say I need to install the, let's say, Arogya Setu, and I know that, I mean, I'll come around which are the things around me and how this COVID situation and how I will trust that particular application, right? And digital identity should not be compromised, right? Like for here in SSN, in India, let's say Aadhaar or PAN card, right? So these are all, then of course, in new normal, the moment I will approach to my office, let's say down the line 6 months or 1 year when it will open, how the crowd sensing, social distancing, how I will be recognized in the entry and exit gate with my access card, and the facility management like cafeteria or in university scenario, your school, campus, how that will totally change, right? And you have seen that the employee, let's say in healthcare also, right? I mean, there is nothing normal now. I can't simply go and talk to a nurse directly, right? I mean, so crowd sensing, how the initial touch points are being replaced by AI intelligent agent, right? So this is, let me talk about in an automotive story. Let's say by 2030, all the cars are connected. Let's say India is selling close to 2.5 million cars. That means 25 lakhs car in a year, and all are electric or connected, maybe not autonomous fully. And but of course, by the time also, I think it would be said, you just whatever, like we have already there in the India, right? So all the cars are connected and intelligent. That means each and every driving pattern of yours are being monitored, right? And based on that, let's say the OEM or the insurance company will profile you whether you're a good driver or a bad driver, right? Based on your driving pattern. Yeah. And if you are a good driver, let's say you are on a red carpet, right? I mean, there is a green corridor for you. And let's say you will be labeled. I'm just giving an example. No, I don't know how that will happen. But yeah, let's say you will be given a different kind of environment. Okay, you are a good driver. Let's say you are more than 90%. So you are on red carpet, you are on a green corridor, right? And if you're a bad driver, that means your entire driving pattern is monitored. If any accident happened, then if that car is in that area, then definitely the legal team or the police or the cops, they will definitely put a check on your pattern, right, where you move, because everything is monitored. And based on your driving, then the the automotive insurance will fix a price for you, right? And so why the good drivers will pay the same insurance like the other drivers are paying, right? So how that, and again the emission, I mean, let's say pollution control, right? I mean, if you are maintaining your car well, then why should you scrap your car beyond 15 years or 10 years based on the state rules, right? You can simply say, hey, my car is healthy, right? And similarly for maintenance, right? So this will definitely give a what you call reward mechanism to the citizens to behave properly on road. That means that will really trigger to become a bad to average to a good driver. If you are becoming a good driver, then I think everything will be good, right? And of course, right? So that is what I want to focus on. There are many things which government can use, with this autonomous, this connected car data, because it's all collected on real time. And with AI, a lot of citizen services can be done, right? In case of e-call or b-call, if you European, let's say there is a emergency call. Let's say you met with an accident, right? So let's say we have a black box in the car. That black box will pop up, and if you are critically injured, then definitely will say, I need a help. Then suddenly that will connect to your, let's say, in 100 or 101 for fire, and both the things will come, and rescue team will come immediately. So without the intervention of any guy to call to the 100 number. So that I'm talking about the emergency e-call or breakdown call. Breakdown call is different, right? I mean, you can, anyway, you have time, you can wait it. So let me skip story number 3. It is the healthcare one, and because of the timing. And then what is the next? Actually, the future of AI, I told you it should be safe and ethical, right? And AI impact is everywhere. And as you know, we are all working remotely. Mostly we depend on. So that's why the security aspect is very huge. So you have seen how the attacks, right, happened in a lot of corporate, in automotive also happened a couple of months ago, right? And the cyber criminals are very active these days, So how AI will really take control on the security aspect, that will take that enterprise a long way, right? I mean, that's why if you see war robots, especially in US, where their measure of the revenue comes from the arms and all that. So how humans might use AI in it is really threat. I mean, so that's why I always focus on how it should be safe and ethical. Even if you're using for war, then how it should be safe and ethical. That matters a lot, right? And security aspect, of course, as I how you can actually predict a threat coming to your system, to your enterprise, right? And how quickly you can actually detect it. That will take a long. Otherwise, you are compromised. Once you are compromised, you know how you will be used. So I think I should stop here, and we'll take a few questions.
Thank you, Mr. Sahu. So that was 50 minutes of technology from two experts. Now I invite Dr. Raman, who would, and also Mr. Niju to come on board. So we'll have the Q&A session now.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Raman, you're audible.
Yeah, am I audible? Very good.
Yes, sir.
So we have received a few questions. First of all, I wish to thank Mr. Niju and Mr. Sahu for the excellent presentation, giving an insight on the AI. Now we have received some few questions which I would like to pose. First question is from Mr. Ramaya. By nature, as manufacturing sectors are of high risk industry, how do we assure the adoption of AI to assure safe operations? Is it clear?
Can you repeat it?
By nature, as the manufacturing sectors are of high risk industry category, how do we assure the adoption of AI for safe operations?
Okay. Niju, you want to take it?
Yeah.
I can add.
In fact, I do have another question also that I can see, Mr. Raman, if you would allow me to, from the same gentleman.
Yeah, Mr. Ramaya, please continue.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ramaya, thanks for the questions. So I would actually bring both of these together and try to answer that, because we are talking about, one, dependence on the IT solution, and second, the merger of IT and OT. So if the way I have understood that you're talking about that, there is a high dynamism that is seen in the technology, and since we are highly dependent on, one second, please. Yeah, since we are dependent on the IT, can we assume the AI to assure safe operation? Is that something that I could merge and come up as a single question? So I would say that, of course, manufacturing, by nature, has got a high level of risk attached to it, because there is a dependence on supply chain. There are machineries. There are technologies which are probably not always in-house. So all these things are there. But when we talk about AI is a layer which typically makes use of existing platforms, right? Existing data. So the risk is as good as the risk that you run with your existing system. But yes, what you could has as an additional area that you need to be watchful of is how you're going to utilize it, because the data can be looked at from different angles, can be I would say synthesized in a manner which can get you what you need. So you need to be careful about what you look for. The second, if you recall my presentation, I also talked about one of the risks that is involved is in terms of the privacy of the data. Now, you might have data from your partner companies in the supply chain. You might have data from your technology providers. You might have data from someone who would have given you a certain design. Now, how do you utilize that and ensure that you are not actually stepping on their toes and doing things which are still within the context of the law? So hence, the safe part of it is definitely is up to you how you utilize that. But as a technology, it will definitely not have any adverse impact on your operations. That's for sure. And just to add to the second part of it, which I mentioned that I just looked into that, you had asked this question on IT and OT. Let me also tell you that that was a reality, I would say about 5 years back, that we had two distinct blocks of one, the IT service providers, and there we had people who come from pure automation. Today, that they are coming much closer. These are no more planets which are kind of revolving in the solar system, but they are coming together and they are talking to each other. So the best thing is that the AI is the one which has brought them together, because you need hardware, you need software capabilities to make it happen. So for that, these two will have to come together, and they're already coming together. Now, Are these being done by the same set of people? That is a big question still. But I would say that instead of that, if what we see today is a more collaborative effort, and that's the way forward.
Thank you very much, Nishu. Now we have a question from Mr. Jairam Premkumar. This question is, digital twin is very complex and we always find many complexities during implementation. And we are talking about IoT, etc. How to address a technology concern with respect to availability of skills and understanding the probable outcome. In many implementation, we find it difficult to achieve ROI and in some cases not getting reflected in the bottom line. Well, it's a very, very interesting question.
Absolutely, it is. Mr. Sao, I can take one part of it, which is
you take a digital twin. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the digital twin, and also talk about the skills. So, Mr. Jayaraman, you have probably thrown a googly at us, and instead of saying getting clean bold, I would say that I'm trying to play the best possible shot here. So digital twin naturally is a technology which is something which is still getting perfected. Okay, so you have some of the the key technology providers like Siemens, which are in the forefront of providing that. But yes, the fact is that, as it will always happens with any technology, that the initial years we are all in the trial and error stage, and digital twin is not too old. It has been there in the industry for not too long. So hence we are still getting still trying to perfect it. To coming to the question of whether it will reflect in the bottom line, yes, that question is something which cannot be answered by either me or by Sao, but someone who is actually offering the digital technology. On the skills part of it, I can definitely tell you that it remains a major challenge, and remains a major challenge for two reasons. That today we have the skills level. There are different levels of skills that we see. One is where you have the engineers who come out of the colleges, who are in the words of some of the leaders in the industry, they are unemployable. So you have to actually train them to a certain level, barring some of the top-notch institutions. The second is that those who are at a certain mid-level of their career, who have actually been there and done it for themselves. The third is where you have the experts. So at these three levels, it's like a pyramid. So the moment you go to the expert level, it is actually at the either top of the pyramid, which means that you have less number of people and there is a high premium on those one. So what you can do is that with the middle level, which there you have to make a choice based on the kind of skills available. You have to definitely do a search on that. But there are definitely a lot of skills available because people have already been part of the AI. Now where they are, many of them are part of the software. When it comes to the hardware, we have very little skills available in the country. And in fact, as late as 4 months back, we had given a paper to the government of India on developing the skills in AI hardware. So that and the reason why we gave is because we saw a huge gap in there. So that you will always see as a gap, at least for the next couple of years. If the government starts working on it, it will take time before it can get there. So the software skills are available. The hardware skills are definitely in question. And coming to back to the digital twin, just let me reiterate that is something which can be done, provided you do it in a manner which is doable and where the technology provider can assure you a certain level of success there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we have a very interesting question. It's from one of the anonymous attendees. See, India, we talk about agriculture a lot because we are essentially an agricultural nation. 56 to 60% of our revenue comes from the agriculture. So the question is there any involvement of AI companies in agricultural sector?
Yeah, it is absolutely, it is there. I mean, if I talk about a few use cases, right, how the startup ecosystem is very aggressive, especially that. I mean, each and every state, I think there is a unit where government is also getting involved, right? So let's say your precision agriculture, uses AI technology. What they do basically detecting, let's say, diseases in the plant, pest control, poor plant nutrition on farms. If you see even a couple of things, let's say we're talking about farm to fork, right? And now we are talking about farm to fork, fork to farm, right? That means you are reverse tracking the food story backwards from fork to farm, right? And even from drones and AI-enabled cameras can capture images, right? And the entire farm, and they can analyze the near real time to identify the problem, right? And potentially improvement. So this is a very massive investment happening, and even also a lot of government. I can name few states where actually they are encouraging startup to get into this, right? The agriculture, AI in agriculture. Yeah.
If
Thank
I
you
could
very
just
much.
add two companies for that gentleman's, help. One is, if I recall, it's Intello Labs. That is one company which does the sorting of the farm produce based on color, texture and all these things. And there is another company called Nebula. Nebula is written as Nebulaa, which is into grain analyzer. So you might want to check. And there are a lot of companies, as Sahu rightly pointed out, in the agriculture space.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we have got one very good question from Mr. Nishant. What are your views on AI in cyber securities? This is by Mr. Nishant.
Yeah, so I'm not a cybersecurity professional, but I will try to take a attempt. So, Niju, if you want to pitch in, please.
Okay, I'm
come
also
forward.
not an expert, but one of the things I will definitely say that without really getting deeper into it is it's one area which is actually gaining a lot of importance as cybersecurity. And the fact is that the cyber attacks can come from anywhere, on any kind, any time, and in any form. And hence, to kind of, go back and look at the kind of attacks that have happened over the last so many years in different industries, in different types of companies, and different geographies, there can be definitely a repository that can be created and which can be used in AI for cybersecurity, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now we have a question from Benny Andrew. This is specifically to Mr. Niju. How do you think AI will affect the process of gathering and processing information, and how dependable will the result be as opposed to a human brain's capability of having a 360-degree perspective?
Okay, I'm also reading that. How do you think AI will affect the process of gathering and processing information? How dependable the result will be opposed to human brain's capability of having a 360? Benny, I would say that currently the human beings definitely have an upper hand because AI is still an evolving technology. But the rate at which the AI is growing and some of the applications that we have seen, we are at real risk of getting relegated as the secondary humans on this earth. AI is going to definitely take over. In fact, Stephen Hawking have also said that the rate at which is going, human race is at a serious risk. So the capability of 360 perspective, I think AI is just getting there. So I'm also as scared as you when it comes to AI.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now there is a question from Mr. Jitiraj. How AI is beneficial for preventive maintenance in a manufacturing industry? How reliable it will be while considering the lack of skilled manpower on AI? AI itself will be required. According to me, does AI itself require PM activities? That's preventive maintenance activities.
Preventive maintenance, yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest use case of, if you talk about IoT and AI, is the preventive maintenance, right? So basically to improve the productivity, reduce equipment downtime, right? And how we can monitor the asset in a live environment, right? I mean, globally, let's say it's a big corporate, 120 factories worldwide, right? And how can you use that? So this is the one of the major use case, right? So let's say other than the preventive, let's say how we can actually do the inventory and material tracking, right? And how we can get the entire connected operational intelligence, right? The manufacturing intelligence, right? And how we can have a single screen operator view, right? How your machines are performing, right? It can be your fixed asset in an environment, maybe your customer's asset in customer place, right? And of course, then quality and yield optimization, I can say these are the couple of use cases, where IoT combination with AI, you can, and this is a great benefit of using AI into preventive maintenance. Niju, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I don't have anything to add. I mean, I think you summed up very well.
Thank you very much. I think, Jyoti, we are running out of time. Can we?
So we
Take
have
one-
another 10 minutes to go, so we can take a couple of questions.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Thank you very much, Jyoti. See, one of the question, it's a very generic question, but I think we should take this up. Industries should separate data network from normal office IT infrastructure, because if same network data can be accessed from other source, please clarify. This is by Sonakshi Chauhan.
Trying to read the question where it is.
Industry should separate data network from normal office IT infrastructure, because if same network data can be accessed from other source, please clarify. I think it is quite natural that you need to have a dedicated type of system requirement for collecting the data, unlike the office data containing mails and other things.
Yeah, I think Benny Andrew has asked, right? Can we say that AI as a technology will allow the companies to improve quality of production by simulating results? Of course, yeah.
This has come from Benny.
Yeah.
So what is your response? So you agree with it?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, yeah, this is the improved quality of products. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And now I think we will take some more questions. So there is another one from an anonymous attendee. If you see that it's an interesting question. When we are talking about AI, there'll be more job than we don't even know. As electronics engineer fresher and interested in hardware sector, what are the hardware skills I have to gain, which will be booming in the next 10 years? I think this is a good question for the upcoming engineers.
Yeah, I think he's the electronic engineer fresher. So maybe I'll just take a fast attempt, maybe Niju. So I'll address the first one, right? I mean, so I have worked both in digital and non-digital environment, right? When I started my career in 1997, where the automation, I started my career in banking automation, right? Let's say ATM machine installation. I was an installation engineer for ATM machine, currency counting machine, checkbook dispenser, all in banks, yeah. So I have seen how the banks union were those days very, very strong, right? And we are not allowed to even install few ATMs or currency counting machine or a currency sorter, because that they will feel that will label is few jobs, let's say, in cashiers, right? But you see how that has really transformed now. I mean, that has created a lot of jobs, right? I mean, so a lot of industry, a lot of engineers got employed, right? And so 96, 97 to where we are in 2020, and there is a huge skill requirement for AI. Corporates are not getting, and the startups are not getting, and the technology companies are not getting. There is a huge skill set required for AI. And then the second question, you're talking about the hardware sector. Maybe Niju, you want to take it up?
I will make the job a little easier for this anonymous attendee. So, Mr. Raman, if you allow, I will just show a screen which captures every kind of an opportunity which is there.
Please.
Yeah. So can you see that?
Yeah.
So here, if you look at the slide, we are talking about the different sectors like agri, healthcare, mobility, manufacturing, retail, and fintech. And then we talk about what kind of a hardware job profiles are there. And what the best part here is that we are not saying that this is only for electronics engineer or electrical engineers. We are saying that we are talking about those coming from instrumentation, and other streams. They have an equal chance as computer science guys. And then we talk about what are the kind of basic hardware skills that will be demanded by the industry. And this is based on the industry's, feedback. So this is as authentic as it can get. Then we talk about what the skills which are, desired, what kind of platforms would be there. And then, of course, what are the other optional things that you can look at? So if this helps, definitely you should go for it.
Thank you very much, Riju. This is a real eye-opener for everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And I'm sure that we have responded in a very positive way to that. Now, there is another thing. I mean, I'm also a bit confused. So I thought, let me take it up. This is the last question which we have received. What is the difference between strong artificial intelligence and weak artificial intelligence?
Okay, so let me take, maybe I'll take it and I'll pass on to Niju. So if you see my story, right, the Mitra, right? So where do you find that strong artificial intelligence or the intelligent artificial intelligence, I can say, right? I talk about the intelligent agent, right? I mean, it should be emotional, and then I ask a question whether they have a soul. I don't think they have a soul, but they should understand how you feel. Let's say if you are using a few words which are not professional, then he will feel that no, this guy is not comfortable. If you say I am sad, if you say I'm in trouble, if you say I'm in distress, right? And the agent, I mean the intelligent agent, I mean talking about the chatbot, so understand, okay, you are in a different environment. Or you say I am happy, good to talk to you, hey guys, how are you doing? That means that will feel that you are happy, right? And the weak artificial intelligence, like let's say for an example, I can give, let's say you are talking to, let's say you are getting a call, right? I mean, mostly the chatbots are calling you, and they are not more intelligent. That means they are not fed with more data, right? And that's why if you say, or if you, I mean, they're not able to answer you further. They will say, hey, hello, how are you? Then it will be monotonous, right? So if monotonous is there, then it's a weak artificial intelligence. Niju, over to you.
Yeah, I don't know whether to kind of classify it as strong or weak. I would say that the very fact that how it has been built and for what application. For example, if it is a critical application, obviously you will not have these kind of problems. So it will be built for that application wherein it would have taken into account all those requirements of a user and built it strongly so that, I mean, it can take care of everything. So for example, if it is a chatbot that you're talking about, its need is only to answer a few things. And if the the visitor to that particular website, or the someone who's interested to buy a product or service would be reached out in today's context. I mean, it doesn't have to be that the artificial intelligence really puts his hands out from the screen and say that, okay, look, I'm going to help you here. So it's as simple as that. I really don't believe in that. I would say that strong and weak is all dependent on the application.
Thank you very much to both Mr. Sahu and Niju. I will take one last question. What are the upcoming connectivity challenges in AI? This is from Mr. Nilesh Patil. Do you foresee any upcoming connectivity challenges in AI?
On the contrary, I would say that the 5G, which is going to come in, that's going to, in fact, AI is going to feast on 5G. 5G is just tailor-made for AI. So the amount of data is going to flow in. So by next year, when 5G becomes a reality in India, our assessment is that the AI is going to see exponential growth from there.
Thank you very much, Niju. Yeah. Thank you very much, Sahu. I would now request Jyoti to please take over for the next proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. Raman.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That was a wonderful interaction with all our attendees and our speakers. I'm sure all of our participants also had a good insight on the technical as well as the business aspect of AI. And I invite Dr. Matthew to come aboard.
Hello. Good afternoon, guys. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, very much.
Okay, good. Oh, it's such a good session. Is coming to a fast end. I'm feeling so sad. It has been going in a right interesting manner. As Mr. Colin Powell's verse says, the great leaders are making the complex solutions solved in simple steps. This is what both these speakers have done. I have to salute you guys. One person coming from a technical background, the explanation, as Dr. Mehta said, domain and digital strategist, digital solution evangelist, digital transformation expert. But all, Mr. Sahu, you have made complex artificial intelligence so easy with simple stories. The people who have understood it before could understand it better. The people who have no clue about it could understand quite a bit. I think my job is to thank you guys on behalf of IID Communications and the Board of Governors of the Automation Expo. So I'm really happy to thank Mr. Sahu for his
Thank you.
way of putting things together in such a simple format, which even the beginner engineer or even a layman could understand it, even though it is very complex. So coming to Niju has been with automation for a long time. I have attended many of his sessions. I probably call Niju as a strategist. He's a business strategist. And if you go one more step, Niju has been always very good when there is a calamity, when there is a disruption. And he's a good person, technically as well, not just the mathematics of the business. So in this context of COVID, and with a subject like artificial intelligence, he could club these things so nicely. And the figures what he has given for the growth of artificial intelligence. And maybe I can tell you that both these people displayed the way the artificial intelligence work. Their communication, it's like a digital twin. Both of you made this presentation. You are absolutely great. I'm telling you, your expertise in treating a question, answering it, the depth of it, and the breadth of it, salute you. And thanks from all of us, all the viewers, as well as the committee which is behind this event. So after that, I'm sure we have to think of the participants. You know, there are webinars every single day, n number of webinars happening because of the COVID situation. People cannot go to office, people cannot go for exhibitions. So webinars are the way forward. And among such a quantum of webinars around, still a lot of people have logged in, they have registered and they have come for it. And more than just attending this webinar, they have also asked brilliant questions. That shows the participation, the involvement of those participants. Let me salute those participants for having registered and been part of this webinar. Having said that, one more thing which is more critical, which I should address, is the initiative done by IID Communications. Jyoti was always prompting the Board of Governors. See, we could not do the expo in 2020. Out of sight is out of mind. We have to do something. And definitely the options were discussed. We had brainstorming session, what subject to do, how to do it. Webinars is normal. Will it work? Is it a virtual webinar? We stereotype or we do little lively? Anyways, now it has come to a shape, and I'm very happy the outcome of this webinar, the way it has happened, the way it has been presented, and most importantly, as I said, the selection of the speakers, which works perfectly good. So I have to thank or appreciate IID Communication and the especially Jyoti for arranging such a webinar, which would definitely give advantages to the participants with regard to how to approach the AI and where we are today. Last answer from Niju was even more critical. With 5G coming in, definitely it will be an outbreak towards the artificial intelligence in India as well. So with these few words, I would like to conclude my vote of thanks. But then, this is not the end of it. This series of webinars, which comes under the automation, future automation ready, webinar series as another 4 topics to be covered. And you can see those topics on the screen. And these topics are to be covered in intervals of 2 weeks. So the next one is going to be on the 16th of December. And Jyoti and the IED communication will inform the details later on. But making sure that you guys are all there and seeing the way this webinar has been happening. Always a word of mouth is the biggest marketing tool. You guys have to get your friends also in so that the seminar will become more successful and the outcome will be beneficial to the industrial community and the automation community in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sirs. And until next time, stay safe. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye.